everyone. Welcome to Connections for Life. I'm Ted Pete.
I'm Chad Kuvo. You'd think it'd be louder here. I do it. Work.
You're supposed to be in a barrel, not a barrel head.
That's all they had. Literally all I had.
You think it'd be louder here, but
I need to get rid of this
barrel.
Oh, I feel better now, but you know,
put the barrel back. It was so much better.
I got up here at the high side, and I'm here with my buddy Steve.
Is he from Seattle?
Tacoma.
That's his hat. His hat's the Mariners.
Yeah.
Isn't that what it is?
I don't know. That was one of the backgrounds. I was like, "There's a guy in the picture."
Well, that's an interesting.
With my buddy Steve.
That's an interesting. That's an interesting lead into why do you have Niagara Falls in your background?
We were there over the weekend for Logan's hockey. We traveled up there, spent about 6 minutes on the American side of the falls because it was minus 70, and awful. It was awful.
Was it all frozen?
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah, it's pretty bad there.
When the ice sheets are hitting you in your face with that used to be
from just the mist, because when the mist comes back down, essentially it's ice. We walked there. It was great for 5 minutes.
That's why I don't go outside.
We did that a couple years ago for a basketball tournament, and we all went to the falls to see them at night, and it was like negative 100.
We never went back.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's like I don't want to do.
We went during the day and never went back. I was like, every time because our hotel was right there, but every time we got near it, you could see the mist coming up. I was like, oh, there's the falls again. Look at that.
Yeah.
So,
well, cool.
So you were in Buffalo. You were in Niagara Falls for hockey. How did things go?
I don't really remember. They played good. They like split the weekend. They split the weekend, but they played some really good teams. It was cool. There was one of the first times really there was NHL scouts in the building, which was pretty cool. I mean, awesome. Vegas Golden Knights were there. Edmonton was there. He played well. It was fun. We had a fun weekend. We took Zoe with us and her boyfriend, so they had a good time too. So it was Colton Joe.
Kid Colton.
You spent a week with Colton too.
I call him Cody.
I know.
He's a good kid. They're good kids. Yeah, good man. Awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. We had a good time.
Joe, you?
This weekend Macy had 5 soccer games and 2 softball practices. Lila had 2 soccer games and a softball practice. I literally, when it was Sunday, the referee for the one of the referees that kind of rotates in for the game, he walked in and he came up to me. I don't know this guy. Never talked to him before in my life. Walked in and he goes, "You live here?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about getting an apartment across the street because I'm here all the time." But it was good. Macy played well. Lila played amazing. Like, I don't know where she brought her A game this week. So it was good. They played well. Just a lot of time, over there. And it was cold. It's awfully cold. It's freezing here. Fortunately, I wasn't by the falls. I make better life.
I was only there for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I was there for 0 minutes. No.
I'm surprised you didn't sneak over Chad or Joe and see Chad and.
I would have had. I thought about it actually on Saturday evening, but I would have literally driven there and then had to turn around because.
And on top of that, because they didn't play that good in the first 2 games they played, they had terrible seating. So they played on Saturday morning at 7 a.m. and Sunday morning at 7 a.m. It was like being back to when he was 5.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and the girls had late soccer games and then early soccer games Saturday or late Saturday, early Sunday. So it just didn't work out, but whatever. Next time we'll get them. But what about you, Ted?
Today this past weekend was a big weekend for basketball for us. We had our annual tryouts for the spring and summer seasons here.
Did you make it?
Did you make it? I cut myself.
You got caught. Smart.
It's the knee. He's got a bad knee, I heard.
Yeah, bum knee. Didn't hold out. But no, we had a great weekend. It was a lot. We actually had I had little kid games still going on all weekend. So we had games all day in the morning on Saturday and then on Sunday as well. And then my kid had a game. My son had a school team game Friday night and Saturday afternoon. And then I went right into tryouts both days.
What are you doing?
It got super dark.
It was distracting me, Ted.
I was going to mute you because I knew you were going to blurt it out, but I didn't.
So
So
good
we did that, and we've now got 10 teams that we are slotted to roll into in the spring and summer.
How many do you coach?
I coached 2 of them.
No.
8. Last year I coached a few more, but that was getting the program started, and it was a lot. And I really, I made a decision. I want to focus on these 2 teams because these are our exposure teams. These are the boys that
your top teams.
My top teams, yeah. These are my top 2 teams, and these boys I got scholarships on the line and stuff like that.
So 3rd and 4th graders.
No. I wish.
I don't know when they start.
What year now in basketball like that, Teddy? What year? What is it by birth year or by graduation year?
Well, see, there's certain tournaments do it by grades of the school,
yeah,
and then certain tournaments do it by birth year. So, like your class of 2025.
Yeah, that's how lacrosse is. So what 2 teams do you have then?
I have the 17U and the 16U. So the class
essentially
of 2024 and the class of 2023.
I was going to say juniors.
Yep, juniors and sophomores. Yeah. And then it also has some couple seniors in there as well, but their birth dates fall in the appropriate work.
I have a question. So all of these kids play together on the high school team?
No. So some of them are teammates at different schools together, but we have 11 different school districts represented in our program.
Oh, so they come from
AAU essentially.
Yeah, it's travel. AAU. So it's fun though. There's a couple teams that are like the Corning Painted Post.
11 schools. Yeah. That's crazy, man.
No, so wait a minute. So some of these kids will play against each other in high school.
They do it all the time. So like if you watch my Instagram, you'll see I go and I'll watch the game and we got 4 City of Light guys on one roster here and 4 City of Light guys on the other roster, and they'll play each other all game. So
that's awesome.
I mean, one of our school's JV teams has 14 kids on it, and 10 of them play for us.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah. Top team in the number 4.
The 4 that don't are really feeling left out.
Well, they play for a different team, so they didn't. They actually play for the club.
They play the Village of Light.
No, they played for the club I left and started it when I left City of Light. Or when I left and started City of Light, they play for that club still. Those 4 do. So
it's awesome.
It's pretty cool. So yeah, I was busy with that, and now I'm back here.
We're back.
We're back doing the work thing. I'm really excited though to are we gonna do articles first, idiom first?
No, this is first.
Why do you do this? You know the cadence of the show.
He forgot, like me.
How can you
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Chad, you were supposed to have a gas fact this week.
I do. It's actually I did.
All right, don't tell us.
Did you guys know about the thing in Las Vegas?
Is it about the pina colada?
I watched that again and laughed so hard.
It's awful. Like,
I don't watch them. I don't rewatch much.
Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself. Yeah. All right, guys. So this one is this week is
you were excited about this one, Joe.
Why?
You tried to tell me yesterday, and I was like, "Don't tell me."
I like this because I can't wait to hear what you guys say.
Go.
So you ever hear the term "get one's goat" or "get somebody's goat"?
Yeah.
Like if you
I got his goat,
to irritate or annoy them, like to get their goat.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start with Ted. Where do you think "get your goat" comes from? Get one's goat is technically the term.
Oh, starting with me. I will say that back in
I should say Ted's.
Back in biblical times, okay, I'm gonna go and reference that, oftentimes, tribute was paid and there wasn't monetary denominations out there. So you would pay with things with farm animals or fruit or products or any of that kind of stuff.
Goat coin.
And so
goat coin.
You would so Chad would owe me money and he gave me his goat to pay off his debt to me. And then Joe would be like, "Hey, Ted, is that Chad's goat?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got his goat."
But why would that be to irritate or annoy someone?
Doesn't matter at all. It was fun.
It's actually pretty good. I wouldn't have never ever come up with that. But anyways, what about you, Goose?
I think it's from in Jamaica when they have goat races and they race for goats and you win a goat when you win that guy's goat, and that's irritating. And I did not look that up. I swear, if I have any idea, I just was at a goat race.
It's not right. It's not right. But it's not a bad guess. I'm actually pretty proud of you both. Like I was waiting. I was actually expecting something way more outlandish.
I have another guess, but I'll be quiet.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I actually.
So when you want
this isn't, you guys, you didn't notice, but this is an homage to Teddy's goat sweatshirt. That's why.
Oh, okay.
It feels like it was months ago. I think it was last week.
God over all things.
But
no, I was saying, that to irritate or annoy somebody, farmers would steal each other's goats, and put them in their herd.
That's fair.
That's a little closer. So this one actually cracked me up. So this one comes from horse racing. So jockeys would put goats in the stables with the horses because it would calm the horses, relax the horses down. Okay. However, the competitors would come in and steal the goats of their competition to spook the competitor, to spook the horses, hoping that they would lose the race. So that's where the term.
That's some deep stuff on top.
That horse was up all night wondering where his goat girl,
where his goat buddy was. They took
his
goat buddy.
What am I going to do tomorrow? What am I going to do tomorrow?
Buddy. Yeah, because the horse would get agitated because his buddy wasn't in the pack.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
cool. Anyways, that's get one's goat. I like Chad's though. Stealing goats and I got your goat.
Jamaican goat stealing.
Like, it couldn't be any more literal. Anyways,
what are we on to? Are we on to
time for Chad's gas fact?
Chad's gas fact.
I don't really have a gas fact. I have more questions about something. I did research.
You bring up hydrogen, I'm throwing something.
We're talking that was my whole goal. I told you I didn't want to do it last week because I wanted to research hydrogen.
All right, go.
I'm just confused, and this isn't really a fact.
This isn't Chad's confusion corner. It's supposed to.
It is today. It clearly is today. Today
it's supposed to enlighten the audience.
I'm going to, and then maybe they can enlighten me.
Okay.
Because I just don't. It's not a fact. It's more of Chad needs an answer. It's what
Chad's question corner.
Yeah, Chad's question corner. All the research I've done in the last week, which has been approximately about 7 minutes total, and part of that my phone died. Part of that my phone died for
in the bathroom.
I've just been trying to figure out how hydrogen is made because it's not. I mean, it's obviously a gas, but it's manufactured by humans essentially. And where I get confused is it's made.
Wait a minute. Hydrogen isn't manufactured by humans.
Well, it's broken out. The way to get it pure is to be.
Oh, the way to get pure hydrogen.
Yes, it's the way to get the hydrogen that we need to burn. We have to do certain things to it. Here's some facts actually. There's only 3 ways to do that right now. Well, there's 4, but the 4th is way far down there. So the first one is to use natural gas, and that's where it comes from. And a byproduct is CO2.
This should be Chad's gas. Check Chad's gas facts.
That's a good one. Can you confirm Chad's gas fact?
Yeah. Confirmation corner.
I've read this from a few places though.
Go ahead.
Everything on the internet's true. I'm a French model. So
French, all right.
So the first way is you take it from natural gas and a byproduct CO2, and you also by doing that you get water. That's why the spaceships are powered by hydrogen. Your NASA space powered ship that it burns hydrogen, it produces pure water for the astronauts. Just so you know. So that's one of the byproducts. Sounds great, but it's still coming from natural gas. So you still have to get your fossil fuel. You still have the chance for leaks, all those things to produce this from that. The other way you can do it is you can get it out of water. Out of water, it takes electricity. So either you're burning coal or burning natural gas to make that electricity, or you're using solar power to do that. And what was the
hydropower or?
Yeah, but that's still electricity. But the way they say that could be the closest would be to use solar. The problem is they can't figure out an efficient way enough to use solar to make it that it doesn't make sense to send that solar electricity to residential homes. It, like what you said before the show, negative, whatever, Joe, you use.
Negative efficiency.
Yeah, negative efficiency with solar. The last way that's really far off is by biomass, by doing it biologically, essentially.
Right.
But that brings me to the question: if all those things are facts, which I believe they are, if somebody wants to check, it'd be great. We're still need fossil fuels, and isn't that the point of what we're trying to get away from? To crack that hydrogen out of it, like you need electricity.
Well,
we need natural gas still.
I'm no expert on this, but
me neither. That's why we're.
Let me give you, and I don't even know what I'm about to say if this is true, but I'm going to say this because for perspective.
We'll go back to this.
If we're using, like, I'm going to make up a number. If we're using 100 units of natural gas presently to power the world, okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it only costs 10 units of natural gas to produce the hydrogen that would be required to fuel homes, then your net loss is 90 units. So even though you might still be using a fossil fuel, you're using far less of it.
So that makes sense. See, that's a good, if that's the case.
But I don't know. I completely made that up.
That's our goal. Anybody that knows anything about hydrogen, reach out. We want to.
Yeah, I want to have. Let's get somebody on hydrogen on here.
I think it's really interesting because all of these companies
because we clearly
have to take their pipelines. No, I really don't.
Well, here's the new thing. There's a new segment in our show. Chad's hydrogen facts.
No. Chad's hydrogen questions. Every week I'll pose a question to the audience and hope they answer.
There you go. You can do that too.
Confused look on his face.
Though we already started that back on episode 1.
What's this?
That looks exactly like you. Your head just
that's just you on a 12:24 on a Wednesday.
Is that what time?
How's this one?
An improvement.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know.
So those are all good questions, Chad. I had one. I'm just going to talk about the one that I posted this week on the intranet. So you guys know, and Chad, it kind of goes with what you said. Natural gas pipelines are really the safest, or pipelines are the safest and most efficient means of transporting anything, right? We know that. With that being said, I think there's approximately 4 million, maybe it might be 3 and change million miles of gas pipeline in the ground. But with the efforts from natural gas utilities over the past 10 years have led to a blank % decline in pipeline incidents through our distribution systems. So meaning of all the pipeline that we have in the last 10 years, we've decreased the amount of incidences that we've had by blank percentage.
Do you have
we get guesses? Do we have choices?
Sure. So it's 15%, 31%.
You sound like what's his name?
22%.
Yeah.
And 40%.
You sound like the squirrel. Isn't it the squirrel that talks like that? No, that's
Sid the Sloth.
Yeah, Sid the Sloth. That's what
I said. That's not what I can't believe I came up with that, but yeah, Sid the Sloth.
15%.
So 15, 31, 22, 40.
22.
40. Going 40.
2 consecutive weeks in a row, Teddy's got it.
Wow.
40%. So in 10 years, we've actually reduced our incidences. That's I feel like it just continues on. It's like pie.
Yeah.
Anyways, so 40%. Yeah, pretty well. Probably. So,
now, how brown cow?
Calm down.
No,
shirt.
Too much?
You have your tarot shirt on. Oh, Arrow. I thought it said tarot.
Anyway.
What is Arrow?
Who we have joining us this week, guys? That's what the people are here to see, not us.
I want to know what Arrow is.
I don't know. I got this shirt at the Utility Gas Expo with.
Oh, it was like a giveaway. Gotcha.
Yeah.
This week we have on the one, the only Mr. Long.
Mr. Long friend.
Long friend.
James Taylor.
James Long friend Taylor.
James was our very first guest on Connections when we started this back in April of 2020, and we thought it'd be cool to circle back with him and see where things have gone, what has changed in his life, and how Canada is dealing with the COVID stuff and what he's been up against up there. So always good to see James. Boys, I don't know if you got anything you want to add.
Fun, just always fun to talk to him. It's like having one of our good friends around when we get to. So it's you can tell our conversation with him is completely different than what it is with most people because we're just talking. There's no questions.
There was no questions.
It's just us kind of hanging out.
Yeah, it was just a recap, and I know a lot of our customers and a lot of our peers know James. And much like us, we haven't been able to see him much in the last 24 months because of the pandemic. So hopefully everybody enjoys seeing Mr. Taylor's wonderful face. And, we certainly appreciate having him on and him taking the time to be on the show. So.
All right.
Eddie?
Without further ado, welcome to the show, James Long friend. Hey, JT, welcome back to Connections for Life, our long friend.
Long friend?
Long time friend.
You're really long.
Long lost friend. I think
Long lost friend.
I beg. Thanks for the call. I beg to differ, though.
James is 7'3".
I was talking about the weight of your head. I was talking about how long your head fills the screen on the Zoom block.
Close to the camera.
You're starting to
Long
forget.
friend.
Long.
I'm
What's
gonna call
up,
him Long
James?
Fred from now on.
Hey, I just wanted to point out, guys, that we know this, but I'm going to tell the audience who probably has no idea. But James was our very first guest, and also our first returning guest, right? This is the
And
first
I think this is his third time back.
no,
He did a live with us. He did.
yeah,
do
we
that
did live. I'm talking about an actual CFL recording. Yeah,
Yeah, this is the second one that we did the live and then the expo too, I think.
but you are our number one. Yeah,
Yeah, Uno.
you.
We were
So
really
much
bad at
value
it.
in
Not that we're not
JT.
bad at it now, but we were really bad.
You're our long friend.
Oh boy.
So what's going on, man? How's things? I think we should just start off with when we first started this, it was what, April or March or April of
April.
2020, April
Yeah, so
of 2020, and a lot has transpired and a lot hasn't transpired. How's it been for you, this whole pandemic? I can't believe that we're like almost 24 months gone now since the first time we did this. We all look older. We should go back and like screens like do side by side of
yeah.
We could do Teddy's weight ups and downs thing.
we're definitely
I'm
gonna
on
do
the way
that.
down again. I'm on the way down again.
I know you look good. I was gonna
Yeah.
say you look good.
Thanks.
That's why you're cranky too. I think.
You just moved the camera angle higher, so.
Look at selfie.
But no, seriously, James, how's
No, it's
Canada
good.
been? How's
Good. It's cold. Obviously, winter time here now, and learning to adapt with the Zoom and the Teams. I was able to get away for a few days to see yourself, Joe, when I was down there, and Adam and Christian. Travel for a few days.
You made it back to the
way.
States, right?
Yeah,
Nice.
that was in November. Yeah, one time.
Wow.
Things got a little more, I'll say, laborious and financially constrictive to come back to Canada.
Yeah.
The testing. So, no, footage is good. That we're everybody's busy. We never closed, never stopped. Got a new machine in there. We might have saw some of my Instagram posts or LinkedIn post of a new machine there. It was last spring.
Yeah.
It's up and running now. It's actually a post I posted today for our 2-inch big shot. Shows the drilling out the solid barrels. We can do that now. We eliminated one machine and with one bigger one that can do a whole lot more.
Oh, that's cool.
We can actually drill out our barrels for our big shots. As you fellas know, they're all solid material. They're not out of piping or tubing. So we start from a solid stock. Got some new stuff coming along. Speaking of the big shots, we've got to work on an active head version and also a quarter turn reverse. So work on that. We're hopeful.
That quarter turn reverse is a big deal. Yeah, maybe.
Real big deal.
Can you explain a little bit?
Well, just for our audience sake, you guys
Right.
call them big shots. They're also sometimes known as whole hogs or
Piercing tools.
Piercing tools,
Moles,
basically
ferrets, missiles.
missiles. Right. I just
Yeah,
wanted to give
sorry.
people. There's so many different terminologies. Our industry can't just have one. It's got a name. It has 5 or 6 things.
Tell me if I'm wrong that maybe it would have, I don't know if it was a disadvantage, but the tools operated before by turning the back end. Was it 7 times you had to turn it?
Yeah, about 7 times, 6.5 to 7 turns between forward and reverse.
And
again,
that was the word that you used, laborious.
Yeah, it's people like that though. There's different camps. Some people like that because they've had bad experiences with the quarter turn.
Where it pops goes the other way, right?
Yeah, say for example, you're 30 feet in, the hole collapses on your hose, the tool keeps moving, and then like a football through the air, the tool's moving a little bit, it changes into neutral, you can't get it back again now. So it has its advantages and disadvantages with that. The active head is really good for the harder rock, so we're working on that too as well.
Can you explain that, JT? Is it just section of it that moves at the front too, essentially?
Yeah, so it's like an inchworm, an inchworm, if you will, where the front moves, the back catches up, back and forth. So it's a spring-loaded head in it. I don't know if ours is spring-loaded or not. I haven't been too privy to too much what's going on with it, having been remote. But no, it's been down with Christian, his area, several times, several jobs. It's been in Texas. It's been around in Toronto area doing testing, trying to get wearing what needs to be changed before we hit the market with it. We're hoping for a summertime launch, or at least get it out there.
Cool.
That's awesome.
When is summer up north where you're at now? I'm just kidding.
Probably the same as
Not
yours.
that far. It's about 15 minutes after ours.
Yeah.
So you'll get it in the morning. We'll get the afternoon.
Yeah, right.
Perfect.
That's it. It's I don't know about you guys. It's just been this winter's been tough. It's been long. It seems long. I don't know why. We're in what's today? February 2nd? 2/22. Is that what it is? Yeah.
It does feel really long.
Make a wish.
Groundhog Day.
Long this year. Oh, and Groundhog's Day. Yeah. Did the rodent? I didn't know what to call him. He's a rodent. What is it?
Tawny, Wyatt and Will.
Oh, what is it though? Groundhog.
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 So I haven't heard anything lately. What the forecast or prognostication?
Let's see what he said. We'll break.
All I know is that we're all about to get
do it live.
6 more weeks of winter, guys.
Yes. That means our summer starts in August
and ends in August. The
August
first week
8th.
of August.
August 8th. Yeah.
So we're gonna get screwed then, are we?
You're done. You got about 4 days of summer, unfortunately.
So what else, man? As far as you've been down to the States one time. I know that I was fortunate enough to spend an afternoon and evening with you, and it was really nice to see you. Do you have any plans on coming back down to the States and revisiting us, or
probably end of March, April? That's the game plan now, or it's sort of the game plan or the tentative plans right now. So
is it? I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but is it a lot more challenging now for you guys to get this way and get back home than
not going in, coming home with having to have that PCR test? Some places are free, some places are $165, and then if you don't pass it, wait another one.
I was just up in Niagara Falls over the weekend watching Logan play hockey, JT, and it amazed me that all these things were set up at the border crossings, all these little huts and little things, PCR, 30-minute PCR test, $250, like, or 24-hour PCR test, $125. Like, wow. I was just blown away. Really.
It just comes cost prohibitive. You need to always have that every time you want to come back.
And then, like, God forbid you test positive, you're stuck here for another however long.
We have to wait to another test.
Yeah,
it feels like a bit of a money grab, though. Like, I can't believe it's so expensive for people to do that. I mean, they're giving them away free here, and just to get across the border, it's costing.
Yeah, but not the PCR.
Not the PCR one, no.
Yeah.
Well, if you go to the doctor.
Oh yeah, true. Or CVS or anywhere in the world.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. They're free for us, but if it's kind of just weird. I know that you did have some challenges on your way down as far as how long it took.
Well, that was just a probably bad timing on my part when I came on. I guess it was November 8th, the actual day they opened the border. Everybody, all the snowbirds
get out, huh?
All
the snowbirds wanted out at the same time I did. With all their trailers and RVs.
That literally November 8th was the first time the border between the United States and Canada was open for it. And how long?
But that's only for Canadians to come here, which is the funny part. Logan went to Canada in August for hockey.
But what I'm saying is for that purpose.
Wild.
Like, how long was it closed, JT?
Since March 2020, it was end of March.
Yeah. Wow. Very end of March. Right there. Because Logan was supposed to go
16 months.
16 months. You couldn't come down.
No.
And they still don't make it easy.
This is somebody for us in our industry.
You could if you're a strong swimmer. But
pick me up in Maine.
But this is someone, JT, you would travel with each one of us at least twice a year typically.
Yeah.
At least, if not more.
If not more. And to go, 16 months without that experience, that changed the way things are done, I think, with us a little bit.
Oh, 100%.
I think it's interesting that, like, and I'll let you expand on this, James, a little bit. Like, when we started this with you, again, guest uno
almost 2 years ago.
Numero uno. Yeah, I'm having a rough day. We never expected our lives to be shifted so dramatically as far as being on Zoom.
Especially for so long.
Right, for this length of time. I mean, we're still in the 2 weeks to stop the spread.
They started off with the 2 week thing, right? It was really hard.
Right.
2 weeks. It's like, really?
And now it's almost 24 months. I think for you, like, if you want to just maybe expand on how your job's changed a little bit from how you used to do, like, as Teddy alluded to, your job was much like mine, where you spent the majority of your time working on the road. traveling around and being at customers and things like that.
How's that hurt your hotel points situations?
Yeah. We'd like to, are you still a Diamond member?
I'm still a Diamond member. Hilton's been very, very good that way. They've been, you know, they realize that I'm not the only one who's been not traveling. Their business has been hurt too. But yeah, like Ted alluded to, it's a big change. You know, someone who, like myself and your Joe or you guys, there was always with you guys, always traveling to be homebound. So in the event of that, when that happened back in March, I took, got a hold of my boss and I said, hey, I look after the social media footage. We need to put a presence out there, get going on the. So I try to do what I can. I don't want to make it all, Tuesday is Tech Tuesday. Everybody can learn something, hopefully. Friday funny, which sometimes it's not. I know Joe sometimes.
No, they're always funny. They're just.
You kill me with some of them kill me. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah.
Well, I try. I don't be too forceful with it, but I also want to get the name out. The recognition. We're not all about just pushing tools. We're about, like you guys, building relationships. And, that connection we can build with people, whether it's through humor, you can make a joke when you first meet somebody and they remember that, or you tell them something humorous.
It's you because you're so long that people remember that.
Such a long friend.
Blank normally for you. I think there's been some silver lining moments too, right? Like we went through this and you probably, much like all the rest of, us, we've been able to spend more time with our family. Yep. For somebody that's been on the road a ton. I know that me personally, my relationships with the people that are in my family are much better, stronger.
Yep.
I assume for you, for your wife and your son, it's probably had some really good moments because of this and not being on the road so much.
Yeah. Well, so there were some moments there for a while, when I was used to being gone 2 or 3 weeks a month, home underfoot, as you all know, I guess Chad's never met Jen, but Joe and Ted have met Jen. She's like, a couple of times, she's like, when are you leaving again? Underfoot kind of thing when you're all just 24/7 because she works from home too.
Crystal / Lindsay has given me that same. Had given me that same.
I was going to say, Eileen. I'm surprised she hasn't opened the door and asked, "Why are you still here?"
Locked.
Yeah, it's actually locked from the outside. It's not. That's where Ted lives now. That's why there's a water cooler in there. That's just so he can keep himself hydrated.
That's exactly it. She's got
his
one of the
clothes are hanging behind
on the outside of it. Lets me out twice a day to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, so the social media, I've jumped on the social media thing. We've working on recently, you might have seen the post about, trying to introduce some QR barcodes onto our products.
Oh, cool.
And do our owner's manuals, try to get what we can to get when the customer clicks on our website or chooses us, that they get the service. At their fingers, with an iPad or their work tablet, they can get information about our tools. They're always wondering or asking, calling for the factory rep or
that QR code is a great idea to take it to like a link tree and then everything. You could have everything relating to that tool on that. That's really neat. Yeah. That's a good idea.
So you fellas know that inside of our plywood crates for our larger tools, we have the warning label in there, laminated one. Each one of those will have my dream is to have a QR barcode. Each one of those, each specific for each tool. C600, C50, however the C1200 comes packaged, on an A-frame or it comes on the flat skid. Something
that
like
way
that.
You don't have to worry about the actual paper manual, right?
That's what we're hoping, trying to, because, we all know they'll go to a job site or a customer like Chad and I did there at, I think it was Dominion.
Which one?
The squeeze off we did. There was no manual at all.
Really? Do you think, I can't remember yesterday.
I know.
He's not your guy.
not that one.
No.
not for that anyway.
Yeah, sure, JT. Absolutely.
Yeah, just nod and smile, Chad.
The manuals just don't stay with them, so if we can put some sticker on there. So
didn't you also transition?
3 days.
Maybe this was prior to COVID, but didn't you also transition some of your smaller tools to some Pelican cases?
Well, that's what I was going to ask about. Was like, how's the I know the feedback is tremendous with us, but how has that been going? That whole changeover process to the Pelican case, and then you also put the clamp into the A400 into a toolbox style, correct?
No, so we're trying to get some things here that's the C400 in our Pelican, the red Pelican case, or that type of Pelican case, has been outstanding. Awesome. The reception we've had, we're actually having a hard time getting some of the cases sometimes now because we put a burden on the factory. Yeah, exactly. But no, that's been great. We can also offer the C100 and C156 in it now. 165 can come in a rolling case too as well.
It's a really nice feature.
Just to have, again, for those utilities who don't use it all the time, they want to set an emergency trailer up that they want to keep it safe, secure, and it get jostle around on a vehicle.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So
I also believe, and you know, maybe I'm wrong here, but I also believe that like when you have a very nice, expensive tool, and a very important part of that is to keep it clean and keep it nice and have it, you know, when you put it into a really nice case, it kind of
automatically,
you kind of think like, I got to make sure this is all cleaned up.
Instead of just throwing it in the back of the truck on top of your shovels.
I think that you get like a better performance from your workforce using it and cleaning it and keeping it, you know, and you know, not damaged and banged up. I mean, like Chad said, we've seen them thrown in trucks, or it's just thrown in crates and things like that. But if you have a really expensive box to put them in, you kind of don't want to put a piece of crap into a really expensive box. So
that's the theory anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't been out in 2 years. I have no idea.
Meanwhile, everybody you sold them to just throws the things in the corner of the truck and uses them as gun cases at home. But that's okay.
By the way, I need you to send me a couple samples.
Just one of the boxes.
Yeah. So
there's many options we can do like that for packaging those smaller tools. If anybody's interested in the Pelican type case to keep it protected, and an investment they don't want to get beat up if they don't use it all the time, maybe a smaller utility or emergency trailer setting. They want to have it ready to go.
So aside from the QR codes and aside from the changes to the big shots, anything new coming down the pike for footage in the next 12 months?
We're working on a top-down steel squeeze-off. You fellas know what the 170 looks like, which is a half-inch to 2-inch steel squeeze-off, but the bottom bar swings out on it. But again, you saw yourself to be there.
Shoulder there.
Right above the second one from the bottom right.
I'm pointing at my screen. Like
I had the cursor on mine highlighted over it.
Yeah, so that's the C170, half-inch to 2-inch. But again, the operator right has to be right there. So we're working with another utility, had done testing with the 170 and the 165. They wanted a little more beep, but they wanted the top down. So we're doing more of a custom tool for them, which would be a top down.
What do you mean top down?
I'd be similar to the Timberline version.
Oh, I got you.
But it'll be all hydraulic. But if you're for steel though.
Yep.
So it'll all come from the top. And again, for that specific utility, they're looking for that. They wanted that capability to keep their operators and their technicians, mechanics out of the hole.
Do you think that'll transition? I mean, once you make that I think that's kind of how a lot of things work.
Yep.
Right? You be somebody's idea, and then it kind of transitions. Other people say, "Hey, that's a good idea." So
that's where the 165 came from. When Enbridge came to us and said, "Hey, we need something when a riser gets punched off by a vehicle or that scenario."
Right.
So, necessity is the mother of all invention. So yes, I believe that once it goes through all its testing, we get it done. They can take it to utility down there. They like it. They put through their paces. Maybe a few more changes. Tweaks, it will be a part of our lineup. So I'm excited about that. Again, to have that capability, especially with the operator, keeping the operator safe.
Cool. I don't know. Anything else you want to chat about, guys?
Something came up yesterday actually at Duke that we probably don't talk enough about, and I didn't realize how much some of these older utilities use it. Is the service? I can't remember exactly how to put it, but to go through copper and put plastic lines.
Oh,
the actual cutter, the cutter that cuts the copper.
Oh, like the wedge.
Yeah,
we call our wedge for new water lines.
Yeah, they're starting to use it like Duke down there is using somebody else's. So I'm trying to get them. Yours looks much better than theirs, but didn't realize that they were using them very much, honestly.
Yeah, for water, they use them for especially the city of Toronto and Montreal, where they're doing a lot of the lead service line replacements. When I say service line, just for everybody, it's a supplies your drinking water from the street to your house, called a service line. So they replace that with lead to
these guys copper. They're using it for gas.
Okay, this is where it started with water, and hopefully
that's awesome.
So the one they're using, was it Duke? You said,
yeah.
Is it pulled by like a grip by a backhoe, or is it like an actual hydraulic?
That's a great question.
He has no idea.
No.
Again,
he doesn't even know if it's actually at Duke.
Was I at Duke yesterday?
Yeah, you don't. He has no idea. James, you're gonna have to take this offline because he's confused.
He did say he didn't know he did yesterday, so
I think he ordered a salad and then he's confused. He doesn't know what's going on. A wedge.
I just got that.
No, that's a cool tool. We don't talk about that enough because it's not really something that gets utilized too frequently in gas. But I think Chad, like, if that's something that's maybe that's popping up, it might be an opportunity to.
Well, it's in my I think I did it. Posted a few like last week. I think I posted it.
Yeah,
circle back and what it was. I know Christian's had some success with some of his customers, his area,
and for water or gas.
Both.
Oh, okay.
And I think Gino's had some people inquiries up that way too in the Northeast.
For those viewers, that's our central contractor and New England.
And Christian Kane and Gene Cody. I know you guys don't watch.
Sorry, here I am just on the first name basis with you guys. Everybody just.
That's all right. No one watches this anyways.
But yeah, we're good. We got that new machine. Like another inside person inside. Miss Kim, she's doing very well. So everybody ready to go for the spring. Going.
Yeah, it's cool. Well, I just want to say thanks, man. I mean, you've been a friend of ours. I mean, not just because of work and stuff. And we jokingly said that, you came and saw us this week or this past November, but you actually came down and spent some time at my house and stayed with me and my family. And it's always great to see you. Like,
it was a great evening. It was a sad to go. I was sad to go that morning, but I had to go see Christian's area for the next morning on Monday to get down to his area, travel with him.
I was going to start charging your rent anyways. So.
I made the couch.
No, I'm just kidding. You're a super important guy to us from friendship. We love you, your wife, your family. It's just it just is one of those things. One of the reasons I think we wanted to have you back on the show is we talk about connections. It's the name of our show, Connections for Life. But we'll be friends. All of us will be friends probably for the rest of our lives, regardless of where our careers take us or where our paths go. And I think we kind of took a lot of that for granted because of prior to COVID and now, having the experience that it was so exciting to see and hang out with you. And I missed you so much that it was just a lot of fun to do what we took for, like I said, we took for granted before. So, I just leave you with that. I miss you, buddy. And next time you get down here, I'd like to spend some more time with you, even though we don't really do the same thing anymore. As far as, what you do at work and what I do at work, but my home is always open for you. So.
We still have a lot in common though. So I would don't take that away.
Yeah.
But no, it's great to get to see you guys again this way, including me in this and being able to, laugh and joke.
We're actually interviewing you to take over Teddy's spot.
Or it was mine.
Well, you can't remember.
I forgot I was on the show.
Because I'm recording. So.
We're all trying to guys. We're all fighting.
Chad and I talked about interviewing JT to take over your spot because he does the research.
I'm okay with that. I'll turn my camera off and walk away right now.
JT, you're gonna have to do all three spots.
And what's weird is Chad, Joe, and I were talking about it to replace you. So it's this crazy three-way conversation.
We're all angling. Yeah.
Well, thanks again, guys, for having me in here. It was great to have some laughs and sort of catch up and sort of see what footage is at, and we'll get some news. Get some feedback from us. I'm up north here. We're still here. We're doing well.
Hopefully the situation dies down. I think we're starting to finally maybe see a light at the end of the tunnel. I know you guys are dealing with a lot up there right now.
Man, how many times have we said that phrase though? Right?
Yeah, but it seems a little different now. I mean,
I think there's more light at the end of the tunnel. I don't think it's another train coming this time. I think it's hopefully it's people are finally seeing what it is, what's happening.
You'll always be a long friend to us. So
yeah,
long friend.
One of the longest friends I have.
Yes.
Later, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Hey, guys. Thanks, guys.
Love you.
JT, Mr. Long Friend. It's always a pleasure when you join us.
Long friend.
Can you please put your hair back on?
What do you mean? I cut it in between segments there.
It's awful.
Capsule.
You look like Dave Capsule.
We told
Capsule,
you.
If you're watching. Take your glasses off. Let's interview Dave Capsule now.
Dave, how's MBW treating you?
Great. We have VUs. We have soil picks. We have Virgo Tamps. We have all kinds of stuff. Please stop putting me on the spot.
Just put your
You've been selling it for 7 years.
What do you mean? I cut my hair off.
It wouldn't look that good, honestly.
No, that's a very good point.
There'd be patches.
Your head is not shaped.
Your head.
Very good point. I'll just make my real quick change then.
Put your real hair back on.
Can you put your shirt back on too?
Your head's definitely not shaped well for the bald look.
It's like a point. Cone head. Hey, James, as always, man, thanks for coming on. We'd love to see you. Really, thank you. That's all I can say for all that you do for us, with us. As far as being a friend, as a coworker, as a vendor, as everything, you've always been just an absolute pleasure to work with and be buddies with. So thanks for coming on the show again. Thanks for doing that with us. And hopefully you guys got something out of it too. So
it was awesome. It's fun talk.
Yeah, instead of 2 people picking on me for a while, it was 3.
You said 2 people?
2 people.
2 people.
Mr. Longfriend joined.
How about you stop talking this afternoon? Like, that should be your goal for today.
You were like stuttering all over the place.
I know, but it's not
Just
funny
not on camera.
Me about it.
Just not on camera.
No, it was on camera.
not.
I made fun of him on camera for it. It was earlier.
Yeah, but I accept it. I don't fight back. That's why it's not that good. You just keep going.
Because there's never a simple mistake that slips ever.
No, ever. Ask my children. They suffer the same fate. You know what's funny is that I know that I do that to people, and I do it to everybody. No one is immune. Like I'll get random dude at the grocery store says something, I'm gonna pick on him. Like it just happens. And I don't mean anything bad by it, but I didn't really realize it that much until my 7-year-old does it to me. When I stutter, she's relentless. And I'm like, man, is that how people feel? It doesn't stop me, but now I know. Now I understand.
Interesting.
Peace pulse.
What section are we at?
We're at the article section.
Oh, news and current events.
News and current events corner.
That's what we're calling it.
Everything's corner, though.
Corner. Everything's in a corner?
Yeah.
How do you think they call that? Like corner.
Oh, there we go. There's next week. Nobody puts baby in a corner. That's why, because it came from Dirty Dancing reference in the 80s.
I don't think that's where it came from.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
I understand.
That is where it came from. 100%.
Yeah, but I'm saying like when people like have a program, they're like such and such corner or
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm just wondering where that.
Ditto.
Why is it always corner?
Anyway, back to news and current events.
Let's show us.
I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to
jump the shark.
This interesting article that was brought to us by Mr. Surrett.
That's me.
Via somebody else, I think.
I got this actually from Stuart Salters at APGA. We talked about it yesterday. So Stanford, I believe it was Stanford. This comes from Gizmodo. I don't know. It's everywhere. You can find the article on a whole bunch of things, but we happen to choose Gizmodo today, apparently, for our source. This is from the Stanford University Environmental Science and Technology Department. They did a study which I'm going to be as kind as I possibly can be, that I think is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, it's absolutely.
Sorry.
And yeah, it's basically saying, without getting into reading the whole thing, and I'll let you guys chime in because I know you have opinions as well, but that by having a natural gas appliance, in this instance, stove, that you actually, can you flash that back up there? Because there's a couple of things I wanted to.
Sure.
I was like this.
Chad was reading it for the first time. They're saying that having a gas stove is basically bad for you because of indoor air pollution. The study is kind of bizarre because they used, I think they took,
53 stoves.
53 stoves that were from the ages of 3 to 30 years old. And from what I understand, they put it in a room and tarped off the room with plastic. So there was no ventilation or anything like that. But
there's 40 million gas stoves.
I think the premise is sound, what they were trying to do, but it's not really replicating an actual.
Here's the thing.
Wait a minute, really quickly. Let me just get through this.
Go.
The thing that bugs me the most about this is if you scroll down a little ways. Stop. You scrolled too far. There's one part that I wanted to say. Right here. Even more worryingly, more than 75% of methane emissions the study measured came from gas stoves that were turned off. So what they're suggesting is that they're not piped properly. So that to me is more of an alarming thing than the actual stove itself, is that the piping is not done. Now, with that being said, they also reference nitrogen in this article, and nitrogen doesn't come as a byproduct of that. It comes from cooking off of the food. So, but they equate that to burning fossil fuel, i.e. natural gas, in this instance. So anyways, I'll let you guys talk about it, but I just think there's so many
listen, at the Minions Training Center in Cleveland, Ohio, there are probably just under 50 stoves for training. Yes. That's not a very big
That's not a good sample ridiculous. Size. Or
it also says from 3 to 30 years old. So of those 53 stoves, were 50 of them 30 years old that have old, rusty, beat up pipes? What exactly? Who installed them? How long? When were they checked?
Yeah,
have they been inspected? I mean, you're glomming a whole bunch of things together to prove a point.
But it was 50 stoves. There's 40 million of them.
And my favorite part about the whole thing is that they all have ventilation.
Yes.
Like if you have a gas stove, there's a hood above it, which is what that entirely is for, is to take off any of that to go out of your home. So I don't, it even references it.
Well, I think it
says most people have them, but they don't use them. That's what it says. It says, but they probably don't use them. That's what it says.
And they also they talk about it being with the stove being off, right? And you're not going to run the range hood when the stove's off. But it's like the amounts that they're talking, it was so.
Well, it's leaking. It's leaking at the fitting.
Yeah.
Not through the, I don't know. Yeah. I feel like that's one more example of a study that's not fair.
Yeah.
That they put out information that we're in a world of misinformation. That's all we hear about these days, is that you put out something that's not, it's very biased.
Yeah.
They went into that study trying to prove that this was a toxic thing. Not to mention, nowhere in the article that I recall seeing does it show that it's toxic in any way, shape, or form. It just talks about percentages. It does say that it puts off as much as 500,000 vehicles over the course of a 20-year period, but I think they're grouping all 40 million stoves together. I don't know. They don't really reference that either.
Yeah. It says, since methane is about 80 times as potent as carbon dioxide, the study finds that total methane emissions from gas appliances across the U.S., so there's your 40 million stoves, could have the same impact on the atmosphere as carbon emissions from 500,000 cars over a 20-year period.
So what they're saying is that 40,000 stoves,
40 million
appliances, would put off as much methane emissions as 500,000 cars, but it would take 20 years to put out that much. Is that what it's saying?
Yes.
Is that how to read that?
It's saying that 40 million stoves are going to put out as much methane emissions as 500,000 cars over a 20-year period. The same.
Are they saying cars over a 20-year period, or are they saying in a 20-year period it's equal?
Yes, they're saying cars over a 20-year period and
okay, so both in a 20-year period.
Both in a 20-year period, they'll put out the same amount of emissions. Which, if you think about it, the math.
How often does the car run? What kind of car is it? How old is the car?
I just think the study's crap.
I think it's a flawed study, 100%. But the thing is that's being released out to public as news.
Oh, this came out as a big deal. Like, I mean, there were people, there were people that were like this article reached people from
even if you just get into the comments of it.
No, this reached into like some people that I know at gas utilities that saw this were concerned about it. Like, I don't know. I think that I want to make sure that no matter what, when we talk about renewables, fossil fuels, electrification, whatever we're talking about, that we're doing it honestly and non-biasedly. And I think that these articles that come out are so biased that they don't take the other side into account, and they're trying to prove something rather than trying to figure out the truth.
Yeah.
And that to me, I think is what you coin misinformation.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people, there's no way for us to go out and do this study to prove it the other way. Like, because if I did the same thing with the stoves and I made sure all the fittings and everything were inspected and clean and the way that they're supposed to be, that would change the dynamic. If I did it in a room, in a kitchen, in my kitchen, not roped off and with plastic sheathing to encase the room, because that's not how
it's not how the stove is utilized.
It's not how the real world is.
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, it seems like a bit of a narrative there. So I don't want to get off too much on a tangent, but
I saw another one that I talked to you guys briefly about that it states how Arizona utility regulators again reject this clean energy rules that were being pushed on them.
Did they say why? Because I didn't. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, they did. So essentially, it had got to the point where it was being proposed in front of the legislation, and one of the legislators had voted for it to get there. And then when the bill actually got there, they looked at it and it says, the initial was that the state would require utilities to get 50% of their power from sources that do not emit carbon dioxide by 2035 and 100% by 2070.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why, and this is true, and maybe somebody can chime in and answer this for me. Why are we so ultra concerned about carbon dioxide?
It's because it's a greenhouse gas.
Yes.
But carbon dioxide is what is produced to feed plants. And
I know that's what's confusing to me. That should be good for the environment to get more oxygen.
Now I understand, right? Which would create more oxygen, right? Like that's the way my brain thinks.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the best thing we can do to help climate change is to plant more trees and bushes.
100%. That's
100%.
I mean, but I don't know. To me, I mean, I understand methane. Methane bad. I get it. Like no big deal. I understand that. That's really easy. When people start talking about dialing back carbon dioxide,
yep.
I don't really know. I mean, here's the thing. The climate's going to change because the climate's going to change. It has for years.
Yeah, that's in the history of the planet. That's what happens. It evolves. It's not going to stay like this. It's impossible.
It's going to regulate itself some way, shape, or form. And I understand the importance of being responsible and all that stuff. But again, much like this, it's a narrative. It's a goal. It's a target that may not be achievable.
Well, that's what this so this article states. The initial proposal was you need to be 100% clean power by 2050, and that was kicked back by the legislation. So then they came with this one to say 50% by 2035 and 100% by 2070, and it was voted down again because the legislators looked at it and said he opposed the new rules because they could cost ratepayers at the state's two largest utilities more than $5 billion. Okay, that would have to be passed off to the consumers. All right, $5 billion, and this is just one state over the duration of several years, and they're looking at it. But what troubles me out of it is those who were trying to push this legislation said, just the narrative, how they said it. They said so they can't make themselves do the right thing on clean energy. They really have put politics ahead of good energy policy, and certainly ahead of clean energy and doing what we need to do to address climate change. I don't think that that's what they did. I think what they did was say, hey, this isn't the right fit. Bring something else back. We're still talking. We're still at the table. They're not walking away from the table, but we've got to be able to create this, to break down this great divide.
I think the thing that bugs me the most is that everybody says it shouldn't be political, right?
Yes.
But everything is political.
Everything.
Because in 4 years or 3.5 years or 3 years or whatever it boils down to, again, if the House and the Senate and Congress and the president go back to more of the other side.
Yeah.
A lot of these things that were signed and being done now will be canceled.
Yep.
They will be removed. They will be changed. They will be not as important, deemed as important, and we won't be working on this collective effort. So again, this is a bipartisan issue. This is something that, like, if we're going to do it, it doesn't have to do with politics. You have to have people on both sides of the aisle that are willing to be able to focus on the best possible solution, not the best possible solution politically. And I think that's the problem that we have. I mean, we got out of, with Trump, we got out of the what's it called? The thing over there.
The Paris Accord.
The Paris Accord. And then with Biden, we got right back in. And you're going to tell me that going into the next presidency, if we continue, even if we end up with a Democratic president for another 4 years beyond Biden, or Biden again, we're going to stay in the Paris Accord. But do you honestly believe that a Republican president that comes in again or comes in and changes something, that they're not going to bounce back out of that? I don't know. But that's basically, to me, just it's like playing ping pong. You're just bouncing the ball back and forth,
and you're not getting anything done in the time frame because you're working against each other every.
That's what I mean. It's like trying to push a rope.
I'm sitting here thinking about how long this video is going to take to process. When I actually
6-7 hours. I know we should go. James' interview wasn't that long, so
no, I know. Was loaded. That's.
But anyways, I don't mean to get too like all over the place with that.
This was good though. I love this section that you brought, Joe, and brought to our attention with these articles and discussing current events that are taking place in our industry and everything with it. So.
I would like to, and you guys won't reply or say anything, but I'd like to have a part of our show be that we talk to our guests about these articles. Like maybe at the tail end of the interview.
Any of our guests who want to get on the show, why don't we'll leave a comment?
Yeah, maybe we'll
say you'd like to come on and talk about some of this events. We'd absolutely.
Apparently, we need to talk about hydrogen. So if anyway,
yeah, it's going to be Chad's Confused Corner, and we're going to talk about Chad's answers.
Confusion Corner.
Can it be my?
No, it can't.
Chad's Confused Wheel.
Wheel of Confusion.
Boom.
All right, boys.
Well, hey, we thank you guys. We want to encourage you to like, click, subscribe, share, all of the above, and make sure you leave a comment. Well, we miss you, Leroy. I don't know where you've.
He did a good summary last week.
Oh, I didn't see it. I didn't get.
Yeah, he did really. We should really take that and use it as the YouTube summary. We should ask him if he'd mind if we took that and because now that I'm back posting on YouTube.
Leroy, do you mind if we use some of the things that you've posted to use on our videos?
As a description of the show? It's such a good description. If you made it this far, let us know.
Yeah, if you're still watching, Leroy.
See ya.
Bye.
See ya.